Thank you to Virtual Medicine for providing the game code. Human Anatomy VR on the PlayStation VR 2 is an interactive educational tool that aims to teach you about the human body. It has a range of information and features that can take you from learning biology in high school all the way through to being a medical professional student. Welcome everybody, my name is Doragon and this is a look at Virtual Medicine's VR teaching tool, Human Anatomy VR. Human Anatomy VR is different than anything else I have experienced in VR before. Every experience I've had has been an entertainment gaming type experience. This is built to be purely educational, but it doesn't mean it can't be fun. This is where the totality of your time in Human Anatomy VR takes place. You can change the background, but I like this one for the wonderful view. In here, you use your sense controllers, a collection of menus, and your imagination to explore the human body. The idea of this title is to offer, and I quote, the most immersive human anatomical experience available on the market, designed for anybody interested in the human body. And I have to say, it offers a compelling look. I'm used to plastic models from high school science rooms and GP surgeries as the most interactive ways of understanding what's happening to your body. But that's changed with this title. I suffer migraines, for example, a neurological condition. And I've had the same brain models and computer scans shown to me numerous times to try and explain what is happening to me in those moments. Seeing it in VR though, being able to interact with the brain and even enter it in a mode called Ant Mode, has actually helped me to understand my condition further. And that's a powerful tool. Recently, a member of my family had a lumbar puncture, and as part of the preparation, the person performing said procedure explained where the spinal cord actually ends, and they then take the lumbar puncture from far below that. I could easily visualize this, having seen this model of the spinal nervous system in Human Anatomy VR the day before the lumbar puncture procedure. I never expected this VR experience to have this sort of positive impact upon my life. Yet there I was, after only 30 minutes in the program, having a better understanding of two medical situations within my family. And that is a big tick in the win column for me personally. This isn't a game though. While appearing on a gaming console, don't come into this expecting some sort of entertainment experience. You're not performing surgeries, diagnosing pain or illness. You're not saving NPC lives, the hospital from administration, or caught up in some workplace romance drama. Human Anatomy VR is here to teach people who maybe want to do all of that in real life in the future, except maybe that workplace drama bit, about how the body they'll be working on comes together and works. From my experience, it does a pretty decent job of this. I honestly feel like I have a better understanding of the human body and conditions within my family than when I didn't have access to this title. But it's not easy to get to that point. There is a tutorial in the game, and as expected, this tutorial teaches you the basics of how to use the program. It goes through positioning, the ant mode and cut tool options, which are really quite cool, as well as where to get the information on each part of the body. My problem is, once you've done the tutorial, you're not shown how to access any lessons in this program. Upon further investigation, I discerned that there is no guided learning in Human Anatomy VR. Now I'm 20 years removed from high school at this point in my life, and that was the last time that I did any form of biology lesson. So some form of guided lessons, even with just text on screen, no voiceover or anything, would be incredibly welcome. In the first moments of being let loose outside of the tutorial, I got myself into a university-level quiz that I was attempting to dredge up knowledge from 20 years ago at high school to try and answer. But its level was too high for my decades-old knowledge, and as this quiz was timed, I couldn't go into the human model and look up the answers, nor was there a button within the menu to take lessons that would help you to answer the majority of the quiz. I just ended up failing because I didn't have the references to advance accordingly. That's quite a disheartening start to using the program, and a poor first impression for a teaching tool. Obviously, with what I've already said about my increased understanding of myself and my family's medical conditions, I was able to dive into the systems and body and discern some information important and pertinent to myself. This was done in what is essentially free roam mode, and it's wonderful for such free, self-driven exploration. Take a biology university student, for example, where much of the learning is self-driven outside of lectures. Human Anatomy VR would be a phenomenal additional tool for that type of user. It bridges the gap between self-learning and guided learning, but it also offers physical interaction, which many studies show allows for better memory retention in many people. I do wonder if and how such a tool could work in an official educational environment though. My sister-in-law teaches GCSE and A-level science, biology being 1/3 of that or even specialised at A-level. And I cannot see a situation when her wearing a VR headset while teaching is going to be a positive thing for the class. She cannot see the class in that scenario, meaning that they could easily act out or she could miss indicators from the students that show she needs to explain things differently. So it's not like the teacher could use it. Given high school budgets as well, there is no way that the whole class could make use of this either. UK high schools are struggling to buy one copy of the £60 textbooks they require. In that scenario, it is going to be incredibly difficult to convince them to stretch to £1,125 for a PlayStation with a VR headset and a copy of Human Anatomy VR. If they could stretch to that, the time of use that a student would get within the VR space, given the class sizes many teachers deal with, would more likely than not end up negatively impacting their learning as they're queuing up for a go on the VR rather than learning what they need to within that lesson's hour. But at home? This sort of tool could have a hugely positive impact on a student's learning. It's quite a lot cheaper than some of those textbooks that you're advised to buy if you already have the console and headset. It is £25 at full price for the programme. More importantly though, it's more interactive than the classroom or homework, and as you can scale the information provided, it can be more tailored to the individual using it. It could be the engaging boost to those already nailing it in education and are bored at the curriculum. Or it could engage and elevate those who are struggling academically, giving them a different perspective on things that actually works for them and their way of learning, allowing them to succeed where they otherwise may have failed. As with every learning tool or program, there are pros and cons to this title. I'm glad it exists though. This is a great interactive tool for those needing a better, different, or more interactive way of learning biology than the standard academic route. This is an easy recommendation for any science or biology student if they have the facilities to use it. It isn't an easy to recommend title for everyone else though. I can't say that every person watching this video should go and spend money on this. There is a wide demographic that could definitely benefit from the resources offered by Human Anatomy VR. I've benefited. I know more about myself and my family members through the interactivity of this program. But I'm not sure how much more I will use it in the long run, despite the positives that I've already pulled from it. My sister-in-law and other teachers or lecturers might make use of it though. They may use it to record video footage to then show in class. Other teachers and lecturers could find similar or other uses for it. It has an institution version available for educational facilities, but how this operates I don't know. I wasn't given access to that part of the program. But I can definitely see scenarios where this would be hugely helpful. In a neurology department of a hospital, for example, helping to explain and show patients exactly what is happening to them in an interactive and in-depth manner. As these conditions all take place inside the patient's head, that visibility could really help them with their understanding of their condition. And that's just one idea. I'm sure there are hundreds of other scenarios where Human Anatomy VR could be integrated to elevate what is already happening. Overall, I'm very glad that Human Anatomy VR exists, and would love to see more options like it. Not just on PlayStation VR 2, but on all VR platforms. Virtual reality is a powerful interactive tool, and learning experiences within the virtual space assist nearly everybody who comes into contact with them. And that's important. Different topics, some maybe less focused on academia, could really push VR to another interactive plane beyond just the hardcore gamer. And that will benefit everyone. I'm glad that I got to try this title. Once again, a huge thanks to Virtual Medicine for supplying the code that made this video possible. There's a link to the game in the description box below. And if you've enjoyed this content, then check out this video giving 10 tips for using your PlayStation VR 2. In the meantime, thanks for your viewership, and until next time, have yourselves a fantastic day. And take care.